Hello everyone, my name is Adji, and in this session we will discussing about narrative text. Okay? Apa sih itu narrative text? Narrative text adalah biasanya untuk entertain people, biasanya untuk menghibur. Biasanya itu bisa jadi novel or short story, begitu. Nah, selanjutnya kita akan menuju ke objektif kita setelah kita mempelajari ini. Yang pertama yaitu kita bisa understand the plot and the main character of the story and determine the theme and moral message of the short story. Kita bisa mengerti plot dan karakter utama dari short story tersebut, dan kita bisa menentukan tema dan moral yang ada dalam short story tersebut. Yang kedua, read and understand the little much gear and summarize it. Kita yang objektif kedua yaitu kita membaca dan mengerti dari short story The Little Much Gear, kemudian kita menyimpulkan. Begitu, oke? Kita lanjut ke materi. Oke. We move to the social function of the short story. Nah, apa itu kegunaan short story? Social function. Social function of the short story is to enjoy, to entertain, to teach moral, and to be a role model in applying morals. Yaitu untuk menghibur, untuk belajar moral dari short story tersebut. Kemudian kita menuju ke generic structure of short story. Yang pertama yaitu orientation. Orientation is set the scheme where and when the story happen and introduce the participant or character of the story, who and what are involved in the story. Yaitu orientation. Kita menyeting di mana dan kapan cerita itu terjadi, dan kita mengetahui the participant atau karakter atau tokoh dalam story tersebut, siapa dan apa peranannya dalam story tersebut. Yang kedua yaitu complication. Tells the beginning of the problem which leads to the crisis or climax for the main participant. Complication. Jadi itu awal mula suatu masalah. Awal mula ini untuk menuju ke klimaks, yaitu menuju ke inti dari sebuah masalah tersebut. Yang ketiga yaitu resolution is when the problem or the crisis is resolved either in happy ending or in sad ending. Resolution is ketika problemnya itu sudah terselesaikan, entah itu jadinya ending yang bahagia atau ending yang sedih. Kemudian yang keempat yaitu reorientation is a closing remark to the story and it is optional. It contains moral or advice from the reader. Reorientation ini adalah penutup dari si penulis itu. Penutupnya mungkin itu bisa jadi moral, yaitu saran atau petuah-petuah dari penulis itu, dan ini sifatnya tidak wajib ada di generic structure, begitu. And then we move to the language feature of the short story. Short story menggunakan unsur kebahasaan yaitu nouns, yaitu kata benda, contohnya travelers, bundles, tree, road, using pronoun, yaitu kata ganti orang, they, there, is, it, he, his, etc. And then noun phrase, yaitu seperti kata ganti benda, a big old tree, pohon yang besar, and the road and dusty road, yaitu jalanan yang kotor dan berdebu. And then using time connectivities, yaitu contohnya One day, a week later, then a long time ago, and using adverb, yaitu contohnya slowly, angrily, like that. Next is action verb, yaitu kata kerja yang bersifat aksi, yaitu contohnya arrive at, when, loud, tiba, telah makan, pergi, tertawa. Kemudian menggunakan saying verb, kata kerja yang berbentuk ucapan, contohnya ask, repeat. Kemudian menggunakan direct speech, yaitu kata kerja langsung, yaitu contohnya look what a useless ugly old tree. Kemudian selanjutnya indirect speech, contohnya kata kerja yang tidak langsung, seperti he said that she comes here at night. Dia berkata bahwa dia datang kemarin malam hari. Kemudian yaitu using past tense, yaitu simple past, past continuous, and past perfect. The Little Match Girl. It was a cold and snowy New Year night. The people were passing by with their warm coat gloves and scarves. They were all in a rush to get somewhere. Some were well and rushing to get home, and some were going to venue to celebrate the New Year. Children were running around on the street, throwing snowballs to each other. Of course, they were the ones enjoying the snow the most. They were playing with each other and logging hysterical, but on the street there was a girl different than one that were playing. This little girl was standing in the middle of the street watching the other kid playing. She did not have a hat to protect her from cold like others. Her clothes were light and ripped, and the slip on her feet didn't fit her right. They were big. She was holding a book, her hands shivering from the freezing cold. The little girl barely noticed the car coming right at her. Hey kids, stay on the side of the road. You are gonna get run over. The little girl threw herself on the sidewalk that the second, but while she was running, the very big slippers on her feet flew off. When she was on the sidewalk, she turned around and looked. She was a boy running with her slipper. My slipper! She yelled and ran after him, but the kid ran away fast. They stopped. Having no choice but to walk barefoot, she seeked for a shelter next to the wall. She opened the book she had been holding and she put it down. She was walking in the box full of mud with eyes watery from the cold. This was a little mud girl, but she could not even sell one box of mud that day. If she could make a sale and earn some money, she could go home and have at least a bowl of warm soup with her mother. So she started yelling with her thin shivering face from cold and sadness. Match anyone want, match anybody on the street paid and attention to her. So she sat down next to the wall. Her fingers started to itch from the cold. She could not bear the pain anymore. Somehow she had to warm up. She opened a box and pulled out a match. Her fingers were numb and she could barely hold a match with her shivering hands. She lit the match on the wall and suddenly a warm orange light surrounded her. Poor girl passed the match from hand to the other to warm her finger. Her hands were not cold anymore. She found herself in front of burning stove. The start at the fire started dreaming. She was sitting in the front of big stove in a beautiful room. She had a woolen sweater on her, furry boots on her foot, and beanie on her head. It was so hot. She began to sweat, but suddenly the match went out. With the match out, do sweet dream. Also, in an ever bigger dream, she was sitting under a tree on a summer night, looking at the star above. It was still warm, even though it was night time. The little girl could not take her eyes off the stars. She never saw the sky and the stars so clear and sparkling. Before suddenly she saw a shooting star. She thought to herself, "There goes another one of us flying into eternity." These are actually her grandmother wore that moment. She saw her grandmother appear. When you see shooting stars, know that someone will take my place there. Her grandmother was visible for a brief moment, and then when she disappeared, the little match girl called after her grandmother. "Stop, don't go, please, I really miss you." To see her grandmother one more, she lit up another match. She forgot how she was freezing from cold in the middle of the street, started dreaming once again. Every time she lit up a match, felt as if she was seeing her grandmother and hearing her voice. A little girl lit up another match, her surrounding it up like daylight. She never saw her grandmother. She never saw her grandmother. This beautiful before her laughing face made he forget all the cold and the bitter days she had ever been through. She didn't want this moment to finish, so she lit up the final match in a hurry. Her grandmother appeared in front of her. Again she reached out her arms to hold the little match girl, and they started to fly up into the sky. Together the little girl felt a sudden relief. There was no cold or hunger anymore. At least the moment another shooting star went on by. In the morning, the people who passed by on the street saw the little match girl lying down by the wall, her eyes closed but with a sweet smile on her face. She had a lot of burn match around her. The match, which with its flame broke her dream, a life that no one would ever dream about. The orientation in the Little Martyrs. The setting, the story is set on a cold New Year Eve in a large bustling city. And the main character is a little girl who sells matches on the street. She is very poor and has no family or friends. And conflict, the little girl is so cold and hungry, and she is struggling to sell her matches. And climax, the little girl lights a match and sees a vision of a warm, inviting fireplace. She lights another match and sees a vision of a delicious Christmas dinner. She lights a third match and sees of her dead grandmother who smiles at her, takes her to heaven. Resolution: the little girl dies in the street, freezing to death. Her body is found the next morning, surrounded by burn.